Welcome back to the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. I'm Ernest, and on today's episode, a truck that's stuck and about to get towed. Now this is a big box truck, like my big work truck, and these aren't easy to tow. So I got a call the other day, and one of these big trucks had been tagged with a big orange sticker saying it was going to be towed in 48 hours if it wasn't removed. The truck actually has a bad transmission, I learned, and we just need to get the parking brake unstuck. The owner set the parking brake like a year ago and hasn't been able to get it unstuck. Also, it has always had transmission issues, and it was supposed to be fixed up. However, the transmission has never been fixed, so the truck's really just stuck there. Especially because the parking brake was set and it won't get unset. So I was called out to unstick the parking brake, only I think I might go a different route with that. So when you have these big trucks towed, it's not like they can just pull it up on a flatbed or anything. They're actually just going to hook their truck up to it and drag it. They may pick up the front. That's what they did with the bus when I bought that 2 years ago. But one of the axles is going to stay on the ground, probably the drive axle, and they always ask you to remove the drive shaft anyways. So I went ahead and rolled underneath this truck and took a look, and just like my big truck, the parking brake is actually on the drive shaft at the end of the transmission. So then I told the owner of this vehicle, I said, I think the best idea is that we actually just remove that drive shaft, because to tow it, they don't want to overheat the transmission or the motor by towing the drive shaft, which is engaged to the transmission. So most of the tow companies will ask you to disconnect that anyways. So being that the parking brake is actually on the drive shaft at the end of the transmission, I went ahead and looked at the parking brake just to see if I could fix it, put some WD-40 on it, and just checked out the clamp and the little mechanism and vise that it has underneath the dash to set the parking brake. Everything there looked like it was in place, so I wasn't sure if it was the release button in the handle, which it kind of felt like, or if there was a problem actually in the parking brake down at the transmission. However, since this is getting towed to a transmission shop, I thought let's just let them worry about that, because if it's something that they just happen to fix while they're removing it, they may not charge the guy for it. But if they do, they'll probably have a free diagnosis by saying, hey, such and such is messed up on your parking brake, we noticed, and we'll replace it for this much money. You kind of get that free diagnosis thrown in there, so I thought it was best to wait, since it's kind of literally on the back of the transmission, and that we would go ahead and disconnect the drive shaft, that way it could be towed. So that sounded like a good plan to the vehicle owner, and we set out to do that. There was a couple of hiccups in the way, and let's get to the video. You'll see what that was like. This video is sponsored by Yantu Tire Inflator. Let's check out how this works. If you're interested in this product, check out the link in the description for discount. It comes in this nice carrying case. This will double as a power bank. Here's a look at your controls. It comes with a label so you know what everything means. A couple of different charging options and power button. All right, I trust this tool. I'm gonna let some air out of my tire and we'll air it back up before I head home. All right, it's getting pretty flat. Let it go for a little bit more. All right, now the air is just coming out real slow. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and fill it up here. It's probably just got a couple of PSI in it. All right, let's go ahead and fill this up. Yeah, 4.5 PSI. All right, that's not too loud, and it actually is putting out quite a bit of air. It's actually filling up that tire pretty fast compared to my other air inflators, so this one seems to be pretty nice. All right, that was about 5 minutes, and that's done a great job. This Yantu tire inflator is definitely a tool I would put in my car or an emergency toolkit. This is something I'll take with me, that way I can use it if I'm ever out on the road and somebody has a flat tire. Thanks again to Yantu for sponsoring the video. If you like the product, check out the link. Back to the video. All right, so I drove across town and I got out here. I got set up. I was expecting it just to be normal drive shaft removal, but these bolts were actually a little rusty, so I think this truck came from out of state. One off, 3 to go. Almost all the way off. That was stressful.
I've got every single wheel on this thing chalked. Hopefully it doesn't have a ton of load on this. I think the parking brakes, on this drive shaft anyways, it's gonna have a ton of load on it. Oh well. Alright, so when I got there, the vehicle owner offered to put some blocks of wood behind every tire, so I gladly accepted that. I'm gonna get this drive shaft disconnected now. It's important to have those wheels chalked so this truck doesn't roll away. I was actually able to get 2 of those bolts out, but 2 of them were stuck, and since I don't have my big truck with me, I'm gonna have to run across town and grab those. It's actually Halloween night, so I'm gonna come back in the morning. Alright, back this morning. It's really nice out. Probably like 50 something degrees. Not freezing, but not hot. I've just gotta get the last 2 bolts out. So first thing I'm going to try and do here is use the impact and take those out. However, I find out pretty quickly that's not getting them to budge. So just flush on the back there. I wanted to give it a good effort to try and get all those bolts out right the first time, but cutting those last 2 off were definitely the right way to go. Just like that, we got this job done, and that truck was saved from the tow truck. All right, there you go. Disconnected and out of the way with a couple zip ties. It's good to go. That's a job well done.
All right, so that was fun. A little reminiscent of working in my driveway here. A little frustrating, actually a lot of frustrating, and that has to do with the fact that I don't have my big truck running. I just, at this point, have taken all my tools out of the Ranger and put them in the big truck because I'm going to be finishing that over the next probably couple of months. And as I need tools, I just take them out of the big truck and take them with me in the Ranger. But whenever there's something that I don't account for, that requires a whole nother trip across town. So that's on me, and I take responsibility for that right now. I told the vehicle owner that, and we agreed on everything. So I was able to just come back in the next morning and get that disconnected because the tow truck wasn't going to be there till that afternoon anyways. So that was a job well done in the end. Thanks again for watching. Subscribe if you liked the video and like the video for the algorithm, and I'll see you on the next episode.